switch that out.
Oh no, the red light's on. I'm frozen.
Oh my god.
So what are we talking about? Private exclusives.
Private exclusives.
And I've been in real estate for 40 years. And we've all heard over the last, I don't know how, 15 years? When was Compass founded? I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what brought this to the forefront, was Compass's strategy. I've been doing private exclusives for my whole career, and especially in the last 15 to 20 years when I started doing the downsizing.
Yep.
Grew up in Annandale, got my license, started working hopefully with my friends' parents.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any credibility yet, but and I wasn't getting downsizers. They were my age. They were younger than I am now. But now, about 15 years ago, I started getting these phone calls, and I'll give a specific one in Annandale. My best friend's parents my best friend from the fourth grade, his parents called and said, "We've been in our house since 1968.
Yeah.
It's packed. We need to get out of here." She had just had knee surgery. She wanted to get out of the house.
Yeah.
They'd already moved the bedroom down to the living room, and they were like, "We have to get out of here." But they had so much stuff, and they said, so what should we do? Ultimately we want to sell it, but we have so many things we have to do beforehand. And I was like, well, if we wait till a year, this might take us a year to downsize these things. We might we might put it on the market in a year, and the perfect buyer was, right around the corner now.
Yeah.
Or in 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever. So the point was, let's sort of get it out there to the world without putting in an MLS. It's not ready for prime time. This house looks like hell right now. So that was a strategy. That was years ago. Now it's 2/3 of my business, and it's the same thing. Same thing over and over and over. Is that people have a lot of things to do, not just downsizers, but everybody.
Yeah.
We have this perfect example on 13th Street in Alexandria.
Yep.
Where the owner wants to sell, but the owner is a landlord, and the tenant has 2 little babies, and the house looks awful.
Yeah.
So we're not putting that in MLS
right.
yet.
And for them, why would they want people to come in and do showings when it's it's not even their home?
They have no
they're
incentive.
just paying rent and right.
They have no incentive
Correct.
to do that.
Yeah.
So there's another example.
Yeah.
I mean, there's dozens.
And putting that one out there while they were still there and we haven't really had any showings. We haven't allowed any showings.
We've had people request to see it.
But we've gotten a million calls and
feedback.
We have an offer right now.
Yeah, and folks will ask us, well, what are you gonna list it for? Or what is it listed for? And we said, well, we don't really have a price yet. We're waiting till it's done.
Yep.
We might have a price. Some buyer, actually the buyer you're talking about, didn't they put an offer
they haven't
sight
even
unseen.
Sight unseen. Yep.
So there is an offer on the table already. The seller knows it.
Yep.
And actually the tenants are moving out this week. So we'll have it cleaned and then maybe stage it.
Yep.
And but throughout that whole process, we are still making it available to the market without it going into the MLS, without the days on the market counting,
Correct.
without getting a stale listing.
So talk about that, like why the days on the market have such a negative impact once it's in the MLS and that count that starts ticking down.
Well, historically, again, 40 years in the business, I'd say historically on average for all those years, houses took from 30 to 45 to 60 days. We haven't always been in the seller's market.
Right.
So sometimes the days on the market, the average might have been 45 days. Well, right now, and for the last 5 years, the average days on the market for Northern Virginia might have been, and for, how about Alexandria or Annandale? It might have been 14.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose a lot of leverage as a seller once it's in the multiple listings and the days are counting.
Yep.
I mean, your whole strategy, realtor's whole strategy for years has been to front end load all the marketing at the beginning and get a contract within 7 days.
Yep.
Well, what if you don't get it in 7 days? All of a sudden, the neighbors are going, what's wrong with
What's
it?
wrong
Or
with it?
buyers
Yeah.
are going, this house has been on the market for 2 weeks.
Or the buyers are like, okay, now we can negotiate because there's something wrong and it's been
Immediately.
sitting and now they, yep.
Seller doesn't get any more leverage. They don't gain leverage as the days on the
On the market.
count.
Yep.
So that's another reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to get the word out a little bit to your own sphere as a realtor, to your company, to all these services who will do these
Yeah.
off-market lists,
Yeah.
which are essentially just more MLSs, in my opinion. They're just
Yeah.
the Bright MLS is one. That's a good marketing option, but it really is only another marketing option. It's a
Right.
good one.
Yeah.
And most of the time, we actually go into these situations with sellers of, yeah, well, let's get it out on the market a little bit with the intention, if we don't have a perfect buyer that comes in before we're ready to list
Yeah.
officially, and then we have it all staged and it's ready to go, we've got our photos, we do our marketing, then we put it on the market. That works great.
Yeah.
You can always do that. And that is sort of the plan. We tell sellers that we're gonna get the word out a little bit. We might do our research. Well, what do you think? You just did your research on one of our current
Absolutely.
listings,
Yep.
because we're thinking about a price reduction. So we're doing that marketing research beforehand, and then we're gathering all that information and trying to figure out a price. So we might have a range. Well, when it's off market, private exclusive, coming soon, not in the MLS yet, you can test that higher end of the range.
Correct.
And we may get great feedback. All it needs is a couple people sometimes,
Yeah.
but we get great feedback. So when we are ready to put it on the market and put it in MLS, that we have a better idea. It's not just us telling the seller what we think it's worth,
Right.
but we have good feedback from bona fide buyers out there who may have looked at it and passed for some reason.
Yep.
Maybe they mentioned something that we needed to fix.
Yeah.
Maybe they just said your price is ridiculous, but it gives us good feedback.
Yeah.
But all that stuff is with the plan of, let's do it private exclusive, coming soon, non-MLS, off market, with the intention of going on the market in the MLS at some point.
Yep.
Now,
Where 87% of homes I think are sold from the MLS. So I mean, it is the option. It just might not be the option that's best for that seller day one.
that's exactly right.
It's just like launching a product. You want to test it before you're just putting it out there. Is it presented for a home? Is it in top shape? Is it is it priced right? And now with Compass owning Corcoran, and I think now the network that Compass has with the purchase of Anywhere Brands is 340,000 agents are in that network.
Yeah.
So for us, especially here locally with so many real estates within that Corcoran group, and then beyond now with the purchase of Anywhere Brands by Compass, you really can get to a lot of agents and their buyers without it going into the MLS.
It's essentially another MLS.
Correct.
It's getting out to, as you say, 340,000 people. I don't know what the reach is for Bright MLS that we use, but it's great. Again, I don't want to belittle Bright. I think it's great.
No,
and you mentioned 87%
Yep.
of these things actually go in. And our intentions when we actually sign listing agreements with our clients is there's an agreement that says, I don't want to be in the MLS, but I always write something in that says, we intend on going
now,
in the MLS,
right,
but not yet.
Correct.
Not until we're ready.
Yeah.
Not until we've gotten feedback and we have the property ready.
Yeah.
But I don't get it when some agents just say, I don't want to mention it to anyone until it goes in MLS. Because I still don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't understand that kind of marketing. Why wouldn't you get it out to some people beforehand and mention it? Because who's to say, again, Bright MLS is a great option, but if you put it on the market, if we put it on the market something tomorrow,
Yep.
There's going to be people out of town. They're going to be busy. They're not going to look.
Yep.
They're not looking that day.
Yep.
So there's going to be some people that miss it. So I would say every listing that I've done for probably the last 15 years has at least been mentioned off market for a couple days.
Yep.
At least, and maybe a year.
And how often do you find that, when you're working with a seller client and their house is in the private exclusive, and you're going out to that, McInerney, Corcoran McInerney, that you are getting solid feedback pretty quickly? I mean, you've been doing real estate for 4 years. People are already calling you when they see it and saying, can I go see it? And already building so that when it is MLS, you got it down.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because sometimes you get instant feedback. We'll mention it out on an email to our office, or a card to my network, my local network, and we'll get instant calls or feedback. Well, sometimes you don't get any calls. Well, that's feedback too.
Yeah.
They said, well, there's a song that says that if the phone's not ringing, it's me. Like there's somebody, we're not calling for a reason. You've either said something, maybe it's a terrible, the house is in terrible condition.
Yep.
Maybe it's a rough neighborhood. Maybe the price is ridiculous. Something that we have given to the market has said, we're not looking.
Yep.
So all that is feedback too.
Yep.
If I call the seller and say, we put it out there, sent a card, and we didn't get anybody calling. Well, we need to note that.
Yeah.
That when we go in, if we go into the MLS or when, that we may not get overrun, with buyers.
Right.
So it's also managing expectations for the seller, which helps us as realtors too.
Yeah.
So getting that feedback is also good for that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, when the market houses have been selling on average for 14 days, say in Northern Virginia. Well, a seller goes into the bright MLS, and those days on the market are counting. Well, their expectations are pretty high.
Yeah.
And if it's not selling, what do? Now we've front end and loaded all this marketing. Now what do you do?
Yeah.
So you have to have a marketing presentation for the seller. But again, back to the private exclusives, and whether it's a good idea or not, we want to present, whenever we sit down with a seller, we want to present all our ideas. Here are all the ideas that we might think are best for you, and these are options available to you, on market, off market, coming soon, private exclusive, bright MLS, whatever. And then the seller explains what their needs are.
Correct.
Maybe they are famous.
Right.
Maybe they just.
You've definitely worked with a few of those.
We just don't want it in the MLS. That's a good reason. But
Or
there's all kinds of other reasons. They might be sick. They might be elderly.
Correct.
Think about during COVID.
Yeah.
If an 85-year-old had their house on the market, and they were living in it.
Yeah. They didn't know.
They would say, "Hey, Gordon, can you sell my house and don't show it to anyone?" I mean, so you had to have different kind of marketing for that because sometimes they did not even want to show it.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of reasons. But ultimately, we want them to have all their options, and then they tell us what they want us to do for them, and we listen to them, and then we move. So it may be private exclusive, it may be coming soon, maybe a combination. We're like, okay, we're definitely going to be off market. Maybe we have a sign on. Maybe we've sent out a card. Maybe we've emailed our whole office and our network, and now gone into some of the Compass. Maybe we've gone to 340,000 people.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, the tenant moves out, and now we've had it cleaned.
Yeah.
Now we can get it staged. Hey, it's ready to go in MLS. We're doing both. It's the best of both worlds.
And during that time, we've been talking to agents. We're getting feedback on pricing.
Yep.
For sure. So that's kind of the case for. And obviously there's been a lot of industry crazy with the lawsuit, Zillow suing, Compass counter suing. I think that's all kind of settled down a little bit. But what is it that's the case against really why there has been so much industry upheaval over this private exclusive, which to your point, people have been doing for a very long time.
Well, I don't think the Bright MLS with the days on the market counting
Yep.
ever could be an argument that it's helping the seller.
Correct.
So as a listing agent working for the seller, that's what we sign up for, doing the best job we can for them,
Yep.
giving them the most options on selling their house and trying to get a good price with good terms, timing, and everything. So the argument against private exclusives, again, we say we intend on using Bright almost every single time, but not yet. Always.
Right. Yep.
So I haven't heard really great arguments against.
Yeah.
As long as we're getting it out, with the private exclusives and pre-marketing, and we're getting it out to the most people.
Yeah.
We're not eliminating people.
Yeah.
We're sending it out and trying to get feedback from anyone and everyone, and trying to show it. So my personal opinion is, it's not always an auction.
Yeah.
For a seller.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want. I mean, most sellers, when they're selling anything, want to get every nickel.
Yep.
But not all of them.
Yep.
Some of them are just like, I know what it appraises for. I know what it's assessed for. I know what I bought it for. I know what I owe on it. And if I can get a reasonable price on my property, and it gives me all the timing, and I don't have to have a lockbox on it or a sign,
Yeah.
and I don't have to be an MLS, that's what I want to do. And
Yeah.
if the seller tells us that's what they want us to do, that's
Yeah.
what we're going to do.
Yep.
So I think best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Our intention, as you said, 87% of them actually go into Bright. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll use it. It's another marketing option. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And we use it almost every single time, but not always.
So just to kind of reset, like explain what is a private exclusive for somebody who, I'm a seller, I'm listening to this, like what do you mean by private exclusive strategy? Like what is that?
Well, I mean, in a quick comment about it is that it's just not going publicly marketed in the local MLS.
Into the MLS.
The one
Which
we
in the
use
MLS is
multiple listing
feeding
service
to all of the Realtor.com and Zillow and Redfin, and they're getting all their information, which is part of why it became such a red hot thing, because if the MLS is not getting all of the information, first and foremost, you've got a lot of companies that are impacted by that because they rely on that information from the MLS. So they are also cut out of, that.
Well, the private exclusives became, all it meant really was that it wasn't in the local MLS.
Yep.
Yes. So there were more and more properties that weren't going into that one multiple listing service. So their information starts getting tainted. If the multiple
Right.
listing company is trying to tell what's the average days on the market, all they know is the average days on the market of the properties that have been entered in MLS.
Yep.
So they really don't know. All these companies, and Compass and Redfin and Zillow, all these people wanted all the information if they could get it, because they wanted to use that information and sell it back to different people based on good stats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the stats become tainted
Yeah.
if you don't have. So everybody wants the information.
Yeah.
So all the companies, including Bright MLS, changed their strategy too. They let private exclusives. They didn't just completely say no. For a while they said, we don't like them, we don't want them. Then they were like, wait, they're happening, they're going to continue happening. All they really want is to know about the property, so they have some information. But when it's private exclusive, that information is not distributed out to the world.
Right.
And out to the world means by the internet. Hey, again, back
Correct.
40 years. 40 years in business. When I started in the business in 1986, the internet was just starting.
Yeah. It was
There was no MLS. You know what an MLS meant? A multiple listing service meant 40 years ago was all the local real estate companies, each office or company had their own listings. And for each listing, they would have a card. The MLS company would have a card
Mm-hmm.
on file. It was sort of like your old filing system at the library.
Yeah.
So you'd have a
The
card.
Dewey Decimal
And,
System.
yeah, and they would do this weekly or bi-weekly, and all the real estate companies would present, here are our company listings. And then the MLS, whatever company it was called at the time, would gather all the real estate offices and companies and all their properties, and then they would have cards or somehow paper, and then they would deliver all those back
Right.
to these individual companies. So then they had their own, and they had all the other ones that were on the market at that time. That was an MLS.
Yeah.
It was there was no internet.
Right.
So now everybody says to be fully available and offered, the property needs to be on the internet. It's not necessarily that it needs to be in bright.
Right.
They want it to be on the internet because they think that's the best way to sell a property.
Yeah.
And it may be.
Yep.
The MLS is a good option. Having it on the internet is a good option if the seller wants to have it on there.
Right.
And if they don't want it, they have all kinds of different ideas, and it's part of our strategy to figure out how to set it up for them.
Yeah.
Each property is different, each seller is different, but that's pretty good explanation, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
saw it. I saw it before the internet.
Yeah.
I saw the first MLS that came across on a computer, and it was ridiculously slow. You see how things are instant now. You can pop them on your phone. You see the whole listing and all these photos. It would go, and it was like, and it would print out on this like weird paper, and then you would, but it was like magic because we were like, internet, this is amazing. This is amazing. You can get the word out, but it is not the end all. The bottom line is we want to sell the property for the seller. What a big thing that we actually put is that we want less stress.
Yeah.
And if it's stressful for somebody to have a lockbox on their house, and they don't want it on their house, and they don't want a sign out front, and they don't want it in the MLS, and they don't want the whole world to know about it,
Yep.
I understand that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And even if I don't understand it, I still do what the seller wants me to do.
Correct.
So we present all those options.
Yep.